Hello again, beautiful artists, and welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye and I post beginning level acrylic painting tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So make sure to hit subscribe to join the fun and paint along, and don't forget to hit that bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. Okay, so we are in mid-October right now, and I am a big fan of spooky season. I'm a big fan of Halloween. I'm also a big fan of puppy dogs. And there's this trend right now, just the cutest, all these pictures on the internet of dogs as ghosts. So I wanted to paint kind of a little dream pair here of cutie patooties dressed as ghosts, and they're on a little porch here. It's totally customizable, so feel free to paint your own dogs or your own porch. That's kind of what I was going for here. So I have my 3 standard brushes for this painting. I'm going to just be using my big square brush, my medium-sized pointed sable brush, and then a small detail brush. I'm going to get those in my water cup off the side of the screen. The colors that I'm going to use just for the background step for today, I'm going to have a beautiful ultramarine blue, a warm sienna brown, and some black and white. I'm painting on a boxed canvas. The size is totally up to you. It's totally customizable, but we are doing sort of this horizontal layout today. Okay, if you'd like to see a full materials list of everything that I use, check the description box below. It'll take you to my website, to a materials page, and show you everything that I use and recommend. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our background step. Now, I'm going to start with my medium-sized brush. And I'm going to do what I do in a lot of paintings, which is to create a horizon line. So with acrylic painting, you're always painting from the background here to the foreground. So I'm going to take, again, this medium-sized brush. I'm going to mix up a little bit of gray or whatever color you would like your porch to be. Okay, and I'm going to go up maybe about 1/4 of the way or so. It's not an exact science. Just like we snapped a little photo of our cutie doggies dressed as ghosts on Halloween night. So you can totally customize the porch as well with like decorations and stuff like that. And then of course, yes, also the colors. Okay, so back and forth there, trying to do as horizontal of a line as I can. And now I'm going to take my smallest brush for a little bit more control. I'm going to block out where I'm going to have my door. I'm going to use an even lighter gray. This is almost like a sketch line, so this is going to be covered up. I'm going to just go maybe about 1/3 of the way over with an up and down line here to block out where I'm going to have my door versus where I'm going to have the side of my house. Okay, so now we have 3 areas here. We're going to go ahead and just fill them in. Now I'm going to grab my big brush so that the going goes a little bit quicker here. But if you ever feel uncomfortable, I'll go ahead and downgrade brush sizes for a little bit more control. Now I'm going to mix up a very beautiful light blue. Again, this is sort of like my fantasy house where I have a beautiful wooden door, and I would paint my house blue, but you know, any color that you would love or the color that your house is, you can go ahead and use that, or just follow along with me step by step too. That is just fine. And I'm going to be using up and down brush strokes here to fill in this side of the house here, all the way to that gray line, but not beneath it. Okay, so just this little 1/3 here, a little bit more than 1/3. And again, this layout is pretty customizable as well. It doesn't need to look exactly like mine, just as long as you have your ground part far up enough to where you can have your little doggies sitting on it. Okay, but it's not an exact science. Up and down, just for like a little bit of like a weathered blue look. So pretty, really you could do any kind of color here. Okay, up and down, just like so. A little bit of water always helps that acrylic paint go nice and smooth. Okay, that looks good. Rinsing my brush now. Okay, and let's go ahead and do the bottom part now, and we're going to do something very similar. We're just gonna mix up whatever color we want our ground, the floor here of our porch to be. And we're just gonna go back and forth and fill in that section. Okay, bringing that line up to meet my blue, maybe even go a little bit into the blue so that we have a nice clean line of separation there, okay? Back and forth. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the edges of my canvas later, but you can go ahead and bring the whatever colors are on the front of the canvas onto the side as well if you'd like. Or what I do is just paint these sides with black later. Or any color really, but kind of make it look like a frame that way. Canvas boards are also completely acceptable to use. I kind of switch back and forth. I don't know which one I like better. I like to save space with the canvas boards because I have so many paintings. Okay, beautiful. And let's go ahead and do one little thing here with our door before we fill that in. So we do want like a strip of white here. So I'm gonna take this sketchy gray here, like a pencil color. And I'm just going to bring another line right parallel to my first gray line. Okay, we're just gonna have a little white section there. That's actually going to be our door jamb, okay? And now, rather than my big brush, I'm actually going to downgrade brush sizes here to my medium-sized brush so that I have a little bit more control in this area here. And I'm going to mix up my base brown, which I'm going to use brown and black together, plus a little bit of white. So what we're doing here is we're creating a tone of that brown. I do have more information, a whole bunch more information about color theory and how to blend different colors on a course that I made called Color Theory 101 for the beginning acrylic artist. And that is available with links below as well. It's on Skillshare and on Udemy if you'd like to learn more. Okay, now with that beautiful toned down brown, which is brown mixed with gray, or black and white, I'm just gonna do the same kind of like base coat fill in, and I'm going to go up and down with this to sort of mimic the wood grain. Okay, every brush stroke matters. You really want to be mindful of the direction that your brush strokes are going. Okay, a little bit too much water there. So I'm gonna go right along my gray here, and I want a nice clean line right where the door meets the porch floor. But then I want to go back and bring all of those brush strokes up, okay, up and down there. And just getting that filled in. A little bit of water, like so. And then we should just have one little strip of empty canvas left for our whites. Okay, getting that all filled in. Up and down, just like so, with that brown or whatever color you would like to paint your door. You know, if it was my house, I would probably have a purple door. And what if, ooh, like a round one. That's what I would want, like a hobbit door. But I figured we'd do a sort of recognizable brown one today, just out of normal wood. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my brush and I'm gonna get that last little section filled in. So even though there's, you know, white canvas here, I do want to come in still with my white paint. I'm being mindful not to drag my long sleeve shirt in my paint. Always good to have an apron on as well, which I have on. Okay, and up and down there just to get that filled in. Right, just a little door jamb in between the wall and the door. I'm kind of bringing that over to meet the blue, just like so. I can still see a teeny bit of gray poking out, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave that because we are gonna sort of outline things when we come back from break with a whole bunch more. So let's go ahead and let this dry for a few minutes and then we'll come back and pick it right back up. So I'll see everyone in a few. Okay, welcome back, artists. We have a dry background here and fresh colors on my piece of palette paper. So I have black and white, and then I have a little bit of a cadmium orange, yellow, more of our warm sienna brown, and just a tiny bit of a phthalo green. We're only gonna use that green for one little element, so don't need too much there. All right, now here is where the fun part really begins. So we got our background done, but now we're going to focus on our little doggies dressed as ghosts here, and then a little pumpkin action here in the corner. It's gonna be super cute. But let's go ahead and kind of block things out now, similarly as we did to our first step. So we're working from the background here to the foreground, and we're doing the same thing again. So we're gonna start with our sort of base shapes here. And I'm definitely gonna wanna use my small detail brush for this. And what I'm going to do is start with my biggest dog. So these are sort of like my dream duo of dogs here, which is a gorgeous German Shepherd and a little scrappy mutt. Not sure what the mutt is, maybe that's a Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix or something like that, but super cute. So let me go ahead and start with the big dog here on the right hand side. And I'm just going to do the little top of the head first. And what you want to do here is come not all the way up, because you want to have room for his cutie little ears, and also not too far down either. So we're sort of centering our doggy ghost here. I'm going to bring it out a little bit further on this side. I'm going to kind of wiggle my way down here, starting to build that ghost shape. Okay, and all the way down the other side here. And I want to end a little bit further down, probably right about there. And I always like to start the shape a little bit smaller than what I think I'm gonna have as a final shape. That way that you can always adjust, right? It's always easier to make something bigger in acrylic painting than it is to make it smaller. Okay, now I could continue all the way down over here, but I know I'm gonna have my second little cutie dog right next door. So just kind of wiggle my way down there, and then I'm gonna do my second doggy right next door. Give it a nice drape down here. We're gonna have his little cutie tail poking out from the side, and we're gonna end it at about the same level. I've gone further out with my flare on this side, just kind of making it look like they're standing a little bit differently. Okay, and bringing that ghost shape here down to meet the other one. And then you can kind of refine as needed. I think I'll bring that out a little bit further and make it look like his little paw is under there. Okay, super cute. And now I'm going to do an oval for the German Shepherd's nose, and two ovals, which also this is going to look a lot like a ghost, which is the idea, right? On either side. Those are also just going to start to block out areas that are going to be brown rather than white. So we actually have like what looks like a ghost shape here right now, but then we're going to go ahead and make it look more like a dog. So same idea here, a little round circle here for his cutie nose or her cutie nose, and two cutie eyeball holes there like so. So those are some pretty spooky ghosts already. And then I'm gonna go ahead and block out the ears with white as well. So I'm gonna have my German Shepherd ears come up almost like bunny ears, but a little bit thicker. Like so, and coming down, super cute. And then we're gonna have a little droopy ears on this guy. Okay, and I'm even going to have a cutie little tail that comes out from the side there. Now let's go ahead and start filling those shapes in. I know that's looking a little silly right now. Trust the process. Gonna grab my medium-sized brush now, and I'm going to fill in my spooky, spooky ghosts. with that white, just as is, to the sketch line. And we want to go up and down with those brush strokes as well. Gonna kind of smooth out the white over here. It's okay if the holes here are not quite as big as you want them to be, because we're gonna have a chance to adjust that in just a second when we do our brown, okay? Just kind of starting the sketch, understanding the feel. We have a little bit of a bigger hole for our German Shepherd's nose because they got that big long snout. So cute. If you are painting along today, I've made a Facebook group called The Art Club, managed by Paint Along with Skye, and there's a link to join that below. And the reason I made that is so that my students can share the work from these classes or on their own. And I absolutely love to see all your paintings. It's my favorite part of my day. So I can't wait to see everyone's adorable spooky ghosts. I really want to see some customization. If you have a different type of dog or a different porch, I can't wait to see what everyone's paintings look like. Okay, I'm just doing the same thing over here on my second little doggy. Maybe he's a shelter mutt. I used to have a Pomeranian. I miss you, Bear Bear. You were the best dog in the whole world. I miss him dearly. I look forward to potentially getting another Pomeranian one day. But I just think having a big dog and a little dog, I mean, how cute is that? I just can't get over it. All right, filling in everywhere that's going to be white with our ghostly sheet here over our puppies. Okay, very cute. All right, and just making sure, again, all the brush strokes are going in consistent direction here. You want to make sure you have enough paint coverage to where you can't see that background anymore. I think this is looking really cute. All right, let's go work on our background just a little bit, just to let that area dry for just a second. I'm gonna take a little bit of my black and mix it here with my gray. And I'm gonna go back over these two lines that I created that are parallel to each other that create the separation between the door and the door frame and the wall. Okay, just like so. All right, using my tiny brush there, looking good. And then also here at the bottom, I'm just gonna bring that right over there to almost touch my little puppy's ghost body. And nice little line of separation over there as well. Super cute. Now I'm gonna grab my medium-sized brush and take a little bit of brown and add it to that gray. And I should get a slightly lighter brown. I'm going to do this to add a little bit of variation here in our wooden door. Just using my medium brush here to go up and down, creating some nice highlights. Okay, a little flick of the wrist, not too much water there. Very nice, looking good. And there's some nice variation here in my brush strokes from before, so I don't have to do too much there, but let's go ahead and add a shadow color as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab a little bit of black and mix it with that brown. I'm gonna sneak a tiny bit of white in there too, because I don't wanna go too dark. Nice. So we got some nice wood tones there, and just making that look more like that wooden door. Okay, nice. It looks a lot cleaner in there. And then I'm gonna grab my small brush again. I'm actually just gonna do one more thing. with a real light gray. I'm just gonna add a little bit of variation into that door jamb, just like so. Okay, now still with that tiny brush, I'm going to take this light brown. I think I'll make a little bit more of it. And I'm even gonna add a pinch of yellow because I want a really cute sort of golden puppy dog color here. You don't really need that much because we're only just gonna be going in a few little spaces. Okay, but once you have that golden brown puppy dog color, we're going to go in here and fill in those cute little holes that we cut in our sheet for our nose for our doggies. Making it a little bit bigger here. And the ovals on the sides. Okay, just getting that base color filled in. Still gonna look kind of dorky, and that's all right. Okay, just as you like so. And I still see that I have some wet white here, but I'm just gonna go right over it and let it sort of blend with that light brown color, and that's okay. And I wanna fill in the ears as well. And the ears are gonna come sloping down, and then in my imagination, they're like scruffy ends. So cute. Okay, and same idea over here. Since we're working with a pretty light color, we can go ahead and just go right over the white, and that's just fine. Okay, and like so. All right, getting those base colors laid in there. And a little bit of scruffy ear texture there at the end of his cutie little ear. And I'm gonna do the tail with that light brown color and maybe a little bit of scruffy tail texture. Okay, let's go ahead and fill in the base colors of our German Shepherd now in the same way. So I still have that same tiny brush. I'm going to make a considerably darker brown. Okay, gonna go for that kind of German Shepherd brownish gray. So cute. Love German Shepherds. All right, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So just filling in those main shapes here with that base brown color. Be careful not to get too dark here. I feel like mine might be a little bit too dark, so I'm gonna just lighten it up a pinch. We're gonna have ovals and our spooky nose. These dogs are making such good ghosts. All right, just filling that in with that base color for now. Yeah, it'll make more sense once we fill in all the little details there. Okay, and I'm gonna take that dark brown up top to the ears and fill it in the same way, just real delicately with our tiniest brush. Okay, and the other ear, and we're almost done with our base colors. You're gonna be surprised how quickly everything really does come together with this painting. All right, and just doing the best I can to make a nice clean shape and get it all filled in. So cute. Okay, let's do our pumpkins. And I kind of almost ran out of room over here. I think I'll go ahead and just do one. In my original, I had two. So forgive me if you are a stickler for details. I usually only buy one pumpkin though, so maybe that's just more legit that way. I'm just gonna do like one pumpkin here and not even the whole thing. Okay, just to kind of address that space a little bit. And I'm gonna fill that in with orange right now as the base color for that shape. Okay, a little bit of a flat bottom here. So cute. All right, and I'm gonna take some gray again, and I just want to darken right there just a little bit more, all the way over to that door jamb. Like so. Also in my original, I had a little doorknob. Let's go ahead and add that. So I'm also going to be using gray, kind of a medium gray, like a silver doorknob. You can go ahead and just add a little gray circle. And then we're going to go around it with a little bit of black. Just like so. Just little details. And also with that black, something I like to do is add a little bit of sort of like curved lines up and down. If you do sort of curve like that with another little line in it, you can get a nice wood grain look. Like that. And then with a line inside. And then even kind of around further. Like so. Okay. Just a little extra details. I got a little bit of a drip there. So I'm just gonna clean that up real quick. Never too late with acrylic paint. That looks good, and then just a little highlight on that doorknob on one side. You'll get that nice little kind of finished look over there. Okay, super cute. Let's go back to our little puppy dogs now, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill the bottom parts here with a few upwards lines, and then also we're going to sort of outline things. I'm gonna start from the bottom. Kind of wiggle my way from there, and then in the parts that are the highest are going to be the little creases in the sheet. Okay, we're going to pull those lines up from the bottom like so. Super cute. And remember, we're gonna kind of bump into each other over here with our two puppy dogs because they're best buds and they're sitting real close. And just a few lines. You don't want to go too heavy-handed with this step, all right? Just less is more there, just a little bit. And outline the outside edges of our little doggy ghosts. Okay, just being very gentle. And we can go ahead and outline the top of the head and all the way around. If you don't like to use black outline, you could certainly use gray as well, or instead. Okay, looking good. Just meeting the two shapes together. It's always kind of slow going with the real tiny detail brushes. Okay. Pulling the line down the shape all the way to the edge there. Okay, let's go ahead now and outline the little ears on both doggies. And I'm gonna do a few little lines coming out from the bottom there as well. It's just a real soft touch. Okay, and on the outside of our shepherd's ears, just like so. Okay, and I'm gonna bring my lines further out as I do the outlines of the circles, just so I have plenty of space inside still to do the eyes and the nose, which is going to kind of bring everything together here. All right, looks good. Like so. All right. Okay, looks good. And go ahead and outline that tail too. And with a few little brush strokes coming up. So cute. All right, let's go ahead now and do the sort of tricky part, which is going to be the eyes and the little snout of our dogs. I actually realized that I didn't have red on my piece of palette paper, and I do need just the smallest little bit of red to do a pink nose. So I snuck some red on there. Sorry that was not introduced when we started this. I totally forgot that I used just the tiniest bit of red because it really is just such a small amount. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my detail brush now. I'm going to do my shepherd's nose with a sort of pinkish gray. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of gray, or a little bit of red rather, bring it over here to my white, and sneak a tiny pinch of black in as well. Okay, and then probably about 2/3 of the way down, I'm going to create a little triangle, and that's going to be my golden shepherd, or my German shepherd, little cutie pink nose right there. Okay, and then I'm very delicately going to outline that triangle in black. Kind of a triangle with a bit of a curved top. And then I'm going to do a line coming down like so. And technically that's going to go off in kind of two directions there to create the little snout. And then from the top, I'm going to have just two little lines coming up the snout like so. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of a light brown. These are all very small details, I know. I know it's tricky. And a few little highlights on the top part of the nose. And then just a tiny little white highlight on the pink part of the nose. Okay, one little final detail with black in there. I'm gonna do two little dots on either side for the snout. Very small details today. Okay, and then up in the eyes, I'm just gonna do two little black ovals, like so. You want to try to make them about the same size as each other, okay? Little matching black ovals, and then just the tiniest little pinch of white as a little highlight on either eye. So cute. I'm gonna grab a little bit of gray here, and I'm going to do a highlight on the inside of the ear, like so. And a little bit of tan, just sort of right in the center part for an even lighter highlight, just like so. And if you need it, perhaps a little bit more of that darker brown. To help you blend. Okay, but then just a subtle little step there, just like so. And now let's go ahead and add our pumpkin. I'm gonna take a little bit more yellow so that it's a slightly different color than my actual pumpkin. And right underneath his little cutie snout, we're gonna do an oval like so, and a little curved line here as if we gave him one of those classic plastic lanterns that we give little kids to go collect candy. Like so. I'm just going to fill that in the direction of my shape. Making sure I have a nice clean line there, just like so. Okay. Rinsing my brush and just going to go back in with black. And I'm going to go right over that oval that I just made. It's okay if it blends and it's okay if it's not perfect. And then I'm going to bring a black line up from the side here so that it looks like it's going into his mouth. And I'm going to outline my pumpkin as well, very delicately. Just like so. And maybe a few lines coming up from the bottom and coming down from the top to suggest that round shape, and a little bit coming from either side too to suggest that it's hollow. Okay, I'm gonna grab some gray and kind of finish off this adorable German Shepherd dog ghosts little sheet here. A little bit of gray on either side and coming up from the bottom as well, just to make it look like there's more movement in that sheet. Okay, that looks really cute. Let's leave them alone for just a second. We're gonna have a final little touch there in the pumpkin. Okay, and now we're going to move into our smaller dog, and we're going to, it's a little bit simpler. So we're gonna grab a little bit of black. We're going to also make a sort of curved top triangle right here in the nose area. Okay, that's a little bit easier because it's a shorter snout. And a little tiny line coming down just a little bit. And then we're actually going to see the triangle part of the bottom lip of the smaller dog there. And two ovals, very similar to our German Shepherd's eye placement as well. Look at how cute. I think that really just comes together. Okay, and then a little bit of white. We're going to highlight this dog's black nose and put a little shine in their eyes as well. How precious. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little bit of dark brown. I'd like to just add a second color here in his little doggy ears, just like so, and into the tail. Give him some second color there. And we're going to do the same thing now that we did with our German Shepherd. So of course we have to give our other dog the same kind of lantern. So curve, oval there. And then that pumpkin shape in the same way. Got a little bit too much water going on in there, but Just kind of being careful and spreading it around with control. There we go, getting that color all in there and that shape starting to look round with my brush stroke direction. Okay. Rinsing my brush again and grabbing my black just to finish that shape off. So in the same way, I want to kind of connect those curved lines of the lip of my doggy with the lines that are coming from the lantern sides, and then just delicately outlining my pumpkin in the same exact way. All right, looks good. And just a few lines coming up from the bottom and from the top as well, just like our other one. And in the center there, let's go ahead also and take a little bit of gray into this doggy's ghost costume as well. And being just kind of random here. You still want to leave, of course, the majority white there. Okay, my goodness, that's looking so cute. And let's grab some gray now and give our puppies a little bit of placement here on our porch. Say that 10 times fast. Puppies placement on the porch. Okay, a little bit of a darker gray than the gray that we use to fill in our porch ground here, the floor here. Wood flooring or laminate or whatever you got going. And I'm going to do just a few back and forth lines right where my puppies are sitting, and even a little bit from behind as well. Okay, that's going to just give them a little bit of placement here on our porch, just like so. Okay, I'm gonna go back over here to my pumpkin and finish off those little details, and then we'll jump back and add the spooky jack-o'-lantern faces onto the puppy's lanterns. And we are actually almost done, believe it or not. So I'm just gonna have a little curved line here with my green. I mixed my phthalo green with just a little bit of yellow. And I'm going to do a little curly Q here coming down off my pumpkin down onto the porch. Just with my medium brush really quickly. Again, it is bothering me that I can kind of see through my pumpkin. So I'm gonna grab some more of that orange and just get some more of that base color there onto the pumpkin. Making sure that we can't see through to the porch line there. And honestly, this is optional. Just thought, you know, for a festive Halloween porch, we gotta have a pumpkin or two. And now with some black, gonna do a shadow right next to that green line that I just created. And then I'm going to go along my curly Q with a black shadow as well. Just like so, bringing it all the way down and all the way around our little curly Qs, just giving them some definition. Then I'm going to very delicately outline my pumpkin. And here from the bottom, I'm going to have a few curved lines coming up from the top and down from the bottom. All right. Or up from the bottom, down from the top. Scratch that, reverse it. I don't know what's up with me today. Kind of mincing my words a little bit, but hopefully you guys are still having fun. I'm gonna grab a little bit of a highlight color where I'm just gonna add a little bit of white into my yellow and orange mixture. And I'm going to do a few highlights on my pumpkin there in the center just to get that nice and finished. And then also, just like how we had little shadows for our puppy dogs sitting on the porch, we want to have a little bit of shadow action here around our pumpkin too. All right, just so it makes sense like so. I think I'm just going to balance everything by adding a few more brush strokes over there as well. Okay, just final little touch here. Back in our little pumpkin lanterns, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of my black, and I'm going to do the kind of classic jack-o'-lantern shape where I have two triangular eyeballs here that are facing up, and then one that's facing down, and then a little crooked grin, just like so, right underneath. Even though there's small details, I feel like there's not that many of them. I feel like it's still a fairly simple painting, hopefully suitable for beginners. Let me know what you thought of today's painting in the comments section below. And I can't wait to see everyone's paintings in the art club. And that is all the instruction that I have for everyone this week. So I do hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay creative.